The West doesn't care about Africans or anybody outside of their country. Anything that you do is to ensure that the economy continues to thrive. If you have this mentality when you are relocating, it helps you to easily know where you stand and know your position. It helps you to not get carried away by the so-called benefits that you are getting from there. It helps you to strategize and know how to put your plans together so that if you are there for the short term, mid term, or the long term, you will be able to quickly do what you need to do, move on, or move out. As bad as we call Nigeria and as bad as the environment may be to sustain the kind of life that we want to live, places like Nigeria help you and force you to think outside the box. Uncomfortable places like Nigeria ensure that everybody can put on their thinking caps and innovate despite the challenges that we face. And if you live in a country where you have to provide everything that you need by yourself, especially when the government has failed and has failed in their responsibility to ensure that you have good roads, water, electricity, and access to healthcare and all that. It's like a child who is forced to fend for himself or herself without any kind of parental supervision. That's how Nigeria is. Nigeria forces you to just go out all by yourself. You don't even think, as a Nigerian, you don't even think about uh, oh, maybe the government provide water to my home. Oh, maybe I will have electricity 24/7. It is in our consciousness that as soon as you are born, you know that there's almost nothing that the government will give you or you can see that would affect you directly. And the difference with that in living in a Western country, especially a Western country that is more socialist, is that you could fall into that trap of just being so laid back. Laid back, okay, everything is working fine, everything is 24/7. We go on that vicious cycle and on and on and on. But the thrill about that is that it forces you to just conform. You are in a position where it is difficult for you to want to innovate or think outside the box. Even in this same Nigeria, you would find out that people live different lives. There's a Nigeria for the rich, there's Nigeria for the middle class, there's Nigeria for the poor. And depending on where you found yourself, depending on where you grew up in, your understanding and mentality of Nigeria will be very different. There are people who have not been in certain places or in certain situations that have no idea how people live. Some people have never seen people in this country live the best of lives. And so people cannot understand that we have slums and places where it is uncomfortable to live. These two things can coexist in the same space. And that is why Nigeria is such a unique place. You find out that in the same country, you have extremely poor people and you have extremely rich people. So the middle class is not robust enough to accommodate everybody. It's either you are very close to being poor according to international standards, or you are close to the super rich. And in Europe, for instance, or in other parts of the world where they think of socialism in a way, the middle class is more robust. And when you have a robust middle class, there's this condition in the head that forces them to just say, okay, keep on working paycheck to paycheck. And you are not forced to say, okay, what can I create? What can I bring out? What problems can I solve? And the pain and discomfort sometimes can be rewarding. You know, when you look around and you don't want to settle for less, you don't want to be mediocre, you don't want to be sad. And I bring this up, especially when I started reading the news recently about the new immigration policies that the UK has started implementing. Many jobs that used to be on the list of jobs for sponsorship are now being removed. Even care workers, that used to be almost the easiest thing to do, to come in and be a care worker in the UK as an immigrant or as a foreigner, doesn't exist anymore. So you ask yourself, what are these guys doing? It's a numbers game. It's a numbers game. The West doesn't care about Africans or anybody outside of their country. Anything that you do is to ensure that the economy continues to thrive. If you have this mentality when you are relocating, it helps you to easily know where you stand and know your position. It helps you to not get carried away by the so-called benefits that you are getting from there. It helps you to strategize and know how to put your plans together so that if you are there for the short term, mid term, or the long term, you will be able to quickly do what you need to do, move on, or move out, regardless of what the plan is. So it is just very disheartening. You will hear that, oh, we will have more immigrants coming. And once they think that the, the cap has been met, they close it again, close the tap, like Trudeau will say. They'll close the taps, they open it again, they close it again, depending on what happens. So it just shows you that these countries have a plan. And as a Nigerian or an African, my own advice would be please don't get carried away and don't think that anybody is going to give anybody free bread or free food. Everybody's out to take care of themselves. Everybody's out to ensure that they can their country comes first, and we are just part of the process. It's important that as young Nigerians or young Africans, we just ensure that we have a strategy, we have a plan, we have a short-term plan, medium-term plan, and long-term plan. Why will I be in a country and be guaranteed that I would be eligible to get citizenship or eligible to get some kind of a permanent status? And the next government or even the same government, for whatever reasons, can just come with a stroke of a pen and change everything completely for me. And then I'm left to wonder what's going on. But let immigrants or Africans who are in diaspora, my own advice is let them really protect themselves, have a plan B, a plan C, ensure that you don't take anything for granted, and have it at the back of your mind that there's no free lunch anywhere. You're paying for the things that you benefit from. You are paying for if you have electricity in a Western country, your taxes are working for it. If you have good roads, your taxes are being used for that. If you have water or whatever infrastructure that you are enjoying, good public transportation, it's your taxes, it's your money that's at work. So you are paying for the service that you are getting. Pretty much, you are not abroad and you're not giving anything for free. You are working your your butts off to pay for it. So once you have this mentality, you know exactly that it is anything is possible. Now, if I come back to Nigeria, Nigeria is a very unique place, and there are many countries that fit that role that Nigeria plays. Countries where it is much more difficult to start a business in Nigeria than in most places, meaning that to register a business to ensure that everything is working fine, there's stats that show you the um, the comparative or that there are stats that show you the huge differences in how long it takes to set up a business in Nigeria and how long it takes to set up a business in Europe. It is just mind boggling. And so my own thing is let us please know that have the right mentality, whether you're in Nigeria, whether you're in the UK or in Canada or any country in the US, so that even when you have the right mentality, you will find out that you would not settle to just be a normal person anyway. You will thrive, you do exceedingly well. I have spoken with entrepreneurs, I've spoken with people who are highly successful in their careers in the UK, in Canada, abroad, and I'm proud about what they do. I'm proud about how they represent. And what I came to realize in my conversations with these Nigerians is that they had a right mentality to drive them. So they saw this new place or this new location as a platform that was missing, a platform that provided them with something that was missing in Nigeria. So that missing piece of the puzzle was what they leveraged. They leveraged that missing piece of the puzzle and they used it to their own advantage. So these are the kind of conversations that I like to have and the kind of things that come to my mind when I think about complacency and just taking it, taking it like that. You can get carried away. To be fair, you can get carried away, and then before you know it, the weeks will turn to months, and the months will turn to years, and you can't get it back. So those are my thoughts. If you have the mentality that you can make it anywhere, whether you're in Nigeria, whether you're in Japan, whether you're in Korea, whether you are in Canada or the UK, wherever it is, once you have that mentality, you will see opportunities in your sleep. You will see opportunities with your eyes closed. I'm not here to motivate. I'm just sharing my own thoughts, and I really want to hear people who have these same thoughts. If you agree or disagree, to be interesting to hear from you guys. So this is another uncommon, un, unpopular. This is another unpopular opinion of mine, and I'll see you in the next one. Have a wonderful day. Stay blessed.